So Pinsight, people ask me what does it even stand for? So it stands for People Insight. So that's what the software is about. We're trying to build insight about the people, and our software is used for hiring, for promotion decisions, succession planning, identification of high potentials, leadership development, and so forth. So we are, through the software, elevating HR to a very strategic level, and we're helping HR professionals to think and communicate with their business partners and the business that they are supporting. So that's the ultimate premise of our software. I'll start with a question. So as you look at your organization, right, and you think about the next 12 months, what are some of the key strategic objectives or priorities that you need your leaders to execute? Growth, right? And how are you going to achieve this growth? Okay, so are you developing new products, services? Are you innovation? Okay, very good. So that's a key strategy. What else? Anybody focused on enhancing operational efficiency and driving profit through that, right? That's another big strategy. What else? How many of you are concerned about talent? So we can come up with a whole list of some of the strategies that we need our leaders to execute against. And then the question becomes, well, who's ready to do this? So as you look around the organization, or you look at the people you are bringing potentially into the organization, you ask the question, well, who is ready to execute the strategy for me? Who is ready to drive innovation in my company? Or who is ready to enhance operational efficiency? So that is one of the questions that Pinsight will help you answer. Then maybe you're looking at your talent pools. Maybe you are in the middle of succession planning or talent reviews, and the question is slightly different. So you are trying to decide, who should I invest in development, and where do I draw the line and say that this person is really not worth developing? And then if you do decide to develop your people, then of course the question is, well, where should they develop? What are their training needs? And then on the individual level, what are the strengths? What are their individual development needs, so that you can put the individual development plans together? So these are all the questions that we are answering through the software. Now, we think about leadership in terms of 3 levels. So when you look at the organization, you can slice it different ways, of course, but we tend to think about leadership in terms of 3 levels. So they are your senior leaders, and they're responsible for strategy, for vision, and setting that direction. So where are we heading as an organization? Then you have the mid-level leaders, and these are responsible for executing that strategy. So actually taking the strategy, translating into operational reality, and implementing it. And then managers, who are responsible for devising work plans, delegating, coaching their teams, and so forth. So we have actually built simulations that mimic the role of a manager or senior leader or mid-level leader, and that is how we are gathering the data on this individual, the assessment data, that is then later helping us answer the questions around readiness, or who should we hire, who should we promote, who should we place in a succession plan. So we talk about these strategies, right? And most of you probably have spent the past 10, 20 years working with competency models. So the idea is not that different. You know, we are just taking competency models, and we're mapping them onto the strategies here. But we start at the very strategic level. So we ask, where is this organization heading, or what are some of the key strategic priorities for the leader? And we went through the research and strategic management to identify what are the most common strategic initiatives that leaders have to execute at different levels. And you see that there is about 8 of them. So, and we'll be able to identify the strategic initiatives that you mentioned right here. So maybe we need our leaders to increase innovation or enhance operational efficiency. And you'll also notice that these strategies actually differ by level. So there's a clear logic between the strategies for senior level, then what it looks like at the mid-level, and then what it looks like at the manager level. So not only you can achieve alignment around business strategy across the different talent management functions, but you can also go deep and then align the skills of your leadership team all the way from managers to the senior leaders. So we have behavioral observation. So our consultants see the candidate in 5 different exercises. If the candidate demonstrates strength in that on the necessary skills, then they would be ready to execute the strategy. So it takes a certain kind of skills to execute a particular strategy, right? And we can come up with a list, and that's what we have done through research. So we're able to identify what are the key skills, for instance, to drive innovation, or what are the key skills to enhance operational efficiency in a company. So we see the person actually perform, and we see what skills they currently have. But if they don't have strengths in these areas, then we start predicting, well, how long is it going to take the person to actually develop these skills? Is it going to be 6 months or 12 months or more than 12 months? Then we also look at how open the person is to learning. The more open a person is to learning, the quicker they're going to learn and actually develop these skills. And then we know that there are differences in terms of how developable certain skills are. So planning and organizing, for instance, you can teach people how to do that relatively quickly. But speaking with charisma or influence skills, it's going to take much more time to do. So all of this information is analyzed, put together, and then you get the answer to your question whether your leaders are ready to execute the strategy or not.